The Kethnari fleet approached Xerion 7 with the confidence of predators circling wounded prey. Admiral Zithkar flexed his forearms in satisfaction as the dead moon filled their viewscreen, a barren, cratered wasteland where the human mining colony had once thrived. 3 months had passed since the orbital bombardment. Nothing could have survived. "Sensors detect no life signs, Admiral," reported his tactical officer, mandibles clicking with amusement. "The humans' corpses have likely been preserved in the vacuum. We can salvage their equipment and move on." Zithkar nodded, his compound eyes gleaming. The Terran Federation had been expanding too aggressively, claiming systems the Kethnari hegemony had marked for conquest. This colony had been their first statement, a demonstration of superior firepower. Soon other species would learn to fear the insectoid race as much as they feared humans. The landing party descended in 3 shuttles, their powered armor gleaming against Xerion 7's rust-colored surface. The colony's main habitat dome lay in ruins, twisted metal and shattered glass scattered across the regolith. Emergency lights flickered sporadically in the depths of the mining complex, powered by geothermal taps that ran too deep for orbital bombardment to reach. "Fan out," Zithkar ordered, his translator broadcasting to the 20 soldiers behind him. "Collect any intact technology. These humans were reportedly working on some kind of quantum resonance mining array. The hegemony wants those schematics." They moved through the devastation methodically, past the frozen corpses of human miners and their families, children, elders, workers. All had died in the first wave of plasma bombardment. The Kethnari had chosen this target precisely because it housed civilians, wanting to send a message about the cost of human expansion. Deep in mining shaft 7, Corporal Zikth spotted something unusual. "Admiral, you need to see this." The shaft descended nearly 2 kilometers into Xerion 7's crust, lined with human-built supports and illuminated by emergency lighting. At the bottom, their sensors detected something that made Zithkar's antennae twitch with confusion. "Life signs?" He hissed into his communicator. "Confirmed, sir. Faint but present. 1 human signature." The Admiral's laugh was like breaking glass. "Impossible. Our bombardment was thorough. Even if someone survived the initial attack, the life support systems were destroyed. No human could survive 3 months in these conditions." But as they descended the shaft, their helmet lights revealed something that sent ice through Zikith's hemolymph. The walls weren't just scarred by mining equipment. They showed signs of recent excavation. Tool marks, fresh ones. At the bottom, they found her. The human female sat cross-legged beside a makeshift shelter constructed from mining equipment and salvaged habitat materials. Her skin was pale, almost translucent from months without sunlight, but her eyes burned with an intensity that made several Kethnari instinctively step backward. She was gnawing on what appeared to be a protein bar with methodical precision. "Gentlemen," she said, her voice carrying clearly in the thin atmosphere, "I've been waiting for you." Zithkar aimed his plasma rifle at her chest. "How are you alive, human?" Dr. Sarah Chen, the nameplate on her torn mining suit was still legible, gestured to the walls around them. "You destroyed our surface installations, but you couldn't touch the geothermal taps. Heat, power, water reclamation, everything I needed was already here. Your people did excellent intelligence on our main colony, but you missed something important." "What?" Zithkar demanded. "Humans don't just survive," she said, standing slowly. "We adapt." The mining shaft around them suddenly made terrible sense. The fresh excavation marks, the modified equipment, the jury-rigged life support systems. She hadn't been hiding down here. She'd been working. "You see," Dr. Chen continued, pulling a small device from her belt, "I'm not just a colonist. I'm a quantum geologist. And for 3 months, while you thought I was dying, I've been doing what humans do best, turning a desperate situation into a weapon." Zikth's scanner began screaming warnings. "Admiral! Massive energy buildup, quantum signature off the scale!" Dr. Chen smiled, and it was the most terrifying expression Zithkar had ever seen. "You wanted our quantum resonance mining technology? Here's a demonstration. I've spent 3 months turning this entire moon into a resonance cavity, one perfectly tuned to the quantum frequency of Kethnari neural tissue." The Admiral's forearms trembled. "You're bluffing. One human couldn't survive 3 months alone on a dead world? Couldn't jury-rig quantum mining equipment into a weapon system? couldn't turn grief and rage into the patience needed to dig 200 kilometers of resonance tunnels through solid rock? Her finger hovered over the device's activation switch. You really don't understand humans at all. The Kethnari fleet in orbit suddenly found their communications filled with panicked reports from other ships. Similar quantum signatures were appearing throughout their territory. Every system where they'd recently eliminated human colonies. Every world where they thought they'd wiped out Terran Federation presence. They hadn't killed all the humans. They'd created survivors. And survivors, Dr. Chen's transmission reached across subspace to waiting human fleets, were the most dangerous thing in the galaxy. The quantum resonance is armed, she announced, her voice now broadcasting on all hegemony frequencies. You have 1 hour to withdraw all forces from human space. Every ship, every station, every claim you've made. Because if you don't, you'll learn why the rest of the galaxy whispers about human endurance, why they tell stories about what we do to those who hurt our families. Admiral Zithkar looked at this single human female, alone on a dead world, holding his entire fleet hostage with technology, improvised from mining equipment and 3 months of solitary determination. For the first time, he understood why the other species feared humanity. It wasn't their technology or their numbers or even their aggression. It was their absolute unbreakable refusal to die quietly. The hegemony fleet began its withdrawal within the hour, and Dr. Sarah Chen, the last survivor of Zerion 7, watched them go from her throne of stone and steel, a monument to the simple truth that you cannot kill what will not yield. The galaxy took note.